Today, the Horned Frogs look to keep pace with the top of the Big 12 on the road, facing some purple in the state of Kansas. The Wildcats of Kansas State at home trying to get off the schneid alongside Devin Gardner, old number 98. Yours truly, Tim Brando, Josh Sims, you'll hear from shortly. Devin, the Horned Frogs got some of their mojo back with that come-from-behind win against Colorado after we saw them against Arizona State. This is a Kansas State team, though, that's not accustomed to being where they are.
Yeah, of course, and their fans aren't accustomed to seeing them where they are. But in the last couple of weeks, you kind of saw them start to turn the corner, and you think that they can continue that, but they're going to have to keep on turning, and it's going to be tough today.
TCU is such a dynamic offensive team. Josh Hoover is the goods. Sonny Dykes knows he's got the guy that can carry him all the way to the Big 12 title game again.
Yeah, they got a real opportunity to continue to solidify themselves as a playoff contender, a playoff team, and it's going to start with their defense. Bud Clark and the rest of those guys have got to make sure they settle down and control this dynamic quarterback, Avery Johnson.
TCU won the toss, deferred, so Kansas State will receive to open this game. They will have a bit of a wind behind them, not much. It's a little toasty now, but it will cool off as the sun goes down in mid-afternoon. Nate McCashlin, number 99, will boot it away. And Devon Rice, now wearing the number 20, is back deep for Kansas State. Some of you Wildcats fans might remember he generally wore the number 23. He's now wearing 20. And he will bring it out from 2 yards deep. Kind of lost his footing as he hit the 20-yard line, stumbled down at the 21. And the aforementioned Josh R. Sims is downstairs with us.
Well, Timmy B, a losing record is unfamiliar territory for K-State quarterback Avery Johnson, to the point where he had to learn how to handle this sort of adversity. He said he watched the Netflix show Quarterback to see how Joe Burrow handled all the struggles he had last season. He said the biggest takeaway was no matter your record, you have to trust the process. He was playing some of his best ball of the season, according to his head coach. He's not the reason they're losing. He's going to look to end this slide with a big game out here today, Timmy B.
Yeah, obviously Avery watches Netflix. He saw that documentary on quarterbacks when Burrow had that to say after all that he's gone through the last few years since the Super Bowl. That's Joe Jackson who'll get the lion's share of carries today. Dylan Edwards is out again. And speaking of Avery Johnson, boy, oh boy, does he have it going on, and he's going to carry the load today.
Yeah, of course. And like I talked about in the last couple of weeks, he's a big part of the reason why it seems like they're turning the corner. He's really leaned into his superpower, his ability to run the football, and we've seen TCU struggle a bit with quarterbacks with such dynamic ability. So they've got to lean into that again today.
Chris Kleiman is without a lot of talent for this game. I mentioned Dylan Edwards, who is their best back, unable to go. He's been injured most of this year, missed 2 games early, got him back for the UCF game, and that made a difference in their offense. They swing it out to Jackson, and Joe Jackson gets ahead past the 25, spun down at the 26 in the arms of Vernon Glover, gain of 5. They're the key inactives that we have for this game. I touched on Dylan. That's a big loss. And then up front on the defensive side, Osen Somney, he is their best pass rusher off the edge. So they're a little bit crippled on both sides of the ball coming into today's game.
Yeah, missing Dylan Edwards is a big one, though. If Kansas State cannot run the football historically, they aren't a very good team. They got to find a way to manufacture a run game without their best rusher, Dylan Edwards.
Somehow, correct?
Somehow.
Using your words there, partner. Over the middle, that pass is caught. The tight end, Garrett Oakley, out to the 40-yard line. The junior from Columbus, Nebraska.
It's a really nice job and a nice start by Avery Johnson, seeing the defense well to start this game on this first drive. Linebacker expands, get it right behind him.
Out of the shotgun, Joe Jackson. He is quick. Young man out of Haines City, Florida. Stopped by Jamel Johnson, number 2, after a gain of 5. Staying on time and not getting behind the sticks is going to be paramount today.
Yeah, of course, we talk a lot about first down production. You want to get 4 or more yards to make sure you stay ahead of the chains. They're doing a nice job to start. They got 5 on that one.
This is a really outstanding defensive front. They had Arizona State behind the sticks all night long when we were in the desert. There's a quick out to Jerron Tibbs. He's got the first down, so they get 14 from the tight end, Oakley. And this time, Glover with the stop after a gain of 12 to Jerron Tibbs. Into TCU territory at their 43. See the numbers on Tibbs. They go empty with a little teacup down at the bottom of your screen.
Not enough guys in the box. You would love to see quarterback draw from Avery Johnson here.
He ran it effectively for a touchdown last week in Waco. This time he ad-libs this run. Pressure coming, and Jamel Johnson makes the stop. Only gets a yard, but that, for a mortal playing the position, might have been a tackle for loss.
When you have quarterback draw, you got one guy, he's got to make the play. A nice job of Jamel Johnson of getting one of the most dynamic athletes on the field today, on the ground, one-on-one. That's a little two-on-two violence.
Devon Rice has come into the game, the youngster out of Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas, Nevada. Out of the shotgun, he's by the side of the quarterback, Johnson, and the pass incomplete. He airmailed that one over the head of Garrett Oakley. It'll be 3rd and 9. And talking with him the other day, and we've spent a lot of time with him, and there's his offensive coordinator, Matt Wells, the former head coach at Texas Tech. He'll be calling the shots today for Avery. You could see that he was burdened by what has happened here. He's a local kid, celebrated when he came in here as a freshman, anticipated a great season this year. It all began with that loss in Ireland, and they just have not gotten out of that funk just yet. That pass is batted down. Great penetration from Jonathan Pax, number 10, the junior from New Orleans, Louisiana. And it'll be 4th down and 9 coming up. Along with Devin Gardner and Josh Sims, Tim Brando, happy to have you with us. Kansas State just concluding their first series of the day, and now the punt coming down with a fair catch inside the 10, and it'll bound into the end zone for a touchback. First possession for the Horned Frogs. Kavorian Barnes is back in the lineup at long last, and he's a difference maker. We did not see him in the game with Arizona State. He's been banged up. The transfer out of UTSA, a road runner there, still a road runner, though now wearing the Horned Frogs purple. He gets out for 5 yards.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Tim. This offense is really good without him, but when he's in the game, they're a different, more effective offense because they have that run game they can depend on.
2 tight ends now. Kendall Browse calling the shots for Hoover. He's just going to have to unload this football in the general area of Manjack, 14, Joseph Manjack, the much-traveled receiver. You see Joe Klanderman, the defensive coordinator for Kansas State. He's operating without his best pass rusher, Toby Unsunsami, out for the rest of the year. That's a big loss playing that buck position. He needs Obi Izor, Stubblebean, and Ilalio to play big today in that forward wall. And this one goes incomplete. Joseph Manjack again, the intended receiver. Zayshawn Rich was over in coverage, number 25. So a punt formation now coming up for TCU. Kansas State gets the job done.
It's a really nice job defensively of being in off coverage, making it appear that you have an easy completion, and then breaking right away. Maybe a tad bit early, but that's a bang-bang play, and the referees will never throw that flag. Outstanding start for the Kansas State defense.
Well, we've got flags down prior to the snap. Ethan Crow is preparing to boot that one away. It's like a false start.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 37. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
A huge day in college football all around the country, and particularly in this league, with some major matchups coming. And Sonny Dykes knows this team has got to keep pace with Texas Tech, who looks to have been a team maybe separating themselves in this conference. They'll be taking on Kansas later. And a bad punt off the side of the foot of Craw. And that will give Kansas State some outstanding field position as we take you to break after the 23-yard boot. Our game flow today is sponsored by Progressive. Anxiety, anticipation on the faces, looking to go places in Manhattan. Fox College Football is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. And by Chili's, 3 for Me, the best $10.99 you can eat. Tim Brando, Devin Gardner, and Josh R. Sims, happy to have you with us at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Just a magnificent setting for today's Big 12 encounter, the most competitive conference in America.
Yeah, I don't even think that's even an argument anymore. It's very clear that top to bottom, they are the most competitive, and anybody, literally anybody, can beat anybody.
Yep. Last week, the breakthrough win for Sorsby and Cincinnati came through. Iowa State was on the receiving end of that one. TCU trying to keep pace. Avery Johnson with a quick out to his go-to receiver, Jace Brown. Channing Canada was right there with him. Gain of 9 on the play.
You can see they are playing soft coverage, and anytime you get that, you want to get that ball out as quickly as you can. Nice job by Avery Johnson, making sure he gets it to one of his best playmakers, Jace Brown.
Joe Jackson behind Avery Johnson. And he'll take it on the stretch play, cut it back up for the first down.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save and get more with Geico. This is the game plan here for TCU. You've got to force K-State to be one-dimensional. And for Kansas State, you got to run the dang ball somehow, right? You're missing guys. You're missing your best rusher. You've got to lean on the rushers to find a way to get down the field.
On the check down, Jackson shoved out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage. Not much, if anything, there. Max Carroll with the stop.
And the somehow is there, Tim, just because they're missing their rushers. Dylan Edwards. Now, you're going to have to lean on Avery Johnson. We haven't seen his legs make an impact on the game just yet. However, you know that it's coming. That's one of their best athletes and one of their best runners on the team.
You know, he admitted to us that he was not the same quarterback in last week's game in Waco that he had been in prior weeks. And I don't think there's any doubt about that.
With his flash without his superpower.
Absolutely. Yep.
He's just a guy.
Incomplete. That was a bullet throw that was just behind Garrett Oakley, the tight end.
And Avery was very candid with us, saying, like, he heard a little bit of the noise. What does he need to do to be an NFL quarterback? And it kind of aided in him wanting to be just that perfect pocket passer when his superpower is being able to make the defense wrong with his legs. And if he continues to do that like he did a couple weeks ago and last week, they'll be in a good spot.
3rd down and 11. Joe Jackson remains the setback. Tight end Oakley is in the slot right on 3rd and 11. Pass is caught. Jerron Bradley, the senior out of DeSoto, Texas. He began his career at Texas Tech the last 2 years, 14 yards.
Right, so here he starts to climb and run, right? When you use your superpower, they have to react. He climbs, he shows that he's running, and now he's got an open guy, wide open. Defender runs right past it. Outstanding job by Avery Johnson.
Kind of turned it into an RPO look, didn't it?
There it goes.
Yep.
That's the original RPO.
Absolutely. Got a quick timeout taken by TCU.
Timeout, TCU, their first of the half.
TCU had a 17-0 lead early in that game at Arizona State. And then, speaking of Superman's cape, Sam Levitt put it on, and they came back to win that game. They fell behind again to Colorado at home and managed to return to sender in the second half. We've got another false start coming against K-State.
False start, offense, number 12, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's against Tibbs, the junior out of Indianapolis. Oops. That was enough. First down and 15 now. We'll see a little bit of Rice, maybe some of J.B. Price. No Dylan Edwards today. In traffic, Johnson just hunkers down inside the 35-yard line as Austin Jordan was coming through, the senior from Denton, Texas. Now they are behind the chain. 2nd and 18.
Take a look here. This is zero coverage. You got a lot of space back back in that defense because they're bringing pressure and just playing man-to-man across the board. So if you're Avery Johnson, if you can find a way to get that ball out, you'll have really a lot of space in the middle.
Jackson, good cutback. Gets it down inside the 35 to the 31. Kylan Jackson, number 19, the nickel, out of Clinton, Louisiana, with a stop. Still 3rd down and long coming up for the Wildcats here.
And Tim, this is the third and long of the game already. And if you're Kansas State, you just do not want to live in this area. Now you allow for these TCU defenders to walk up to the line of scrimmage and confuse your offensive line.
And those linebackers are really, really good for the Horned Frogs, particularly in the intermediate area. Look at them converge on Johnson right here. He just got it off in time to Jackson. Oh, my! What a huge play. He may have gone over, though, and gone back. A marker is down. I thought he had adjusted. I thought he made the adjustment in time, but perhaps not. He went over and then went back, and that's why the flag was thrown. Sonny Dykes was all over it. It happened right in front of him.
But if you're TCU, that's terrifying because if he gets in that game where he starts to feel good and comfortable, that's terrifying.
Illegal forward pass, offense, number 2, went beyond the line of scrimmage and came back and threw the ball. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Lost the down.
Oh, yeah, he went over.
4th down.
He definitely went over.
Yeah, and as much as that's a bad play, you want better awareness from Avery Johnson. You love to see him trying to create, and you understand that that's the superpower that you can use, and it's going to create openings. Obviously, that time didn't work out.
Simon McClendon will punt it away. Ed Small, you talk about a gamer. Number 18 is just that. He's back deep. You're going to be hearing his name a lot. And we got a flag down. Maybe too much time here.
Yeah, for Kansas State, they want to get a little more space to punt this ball away. But if I'm TCU, I'm declining it. I'm not going to give you the luxury.
Game. Offense, number 8, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
We talked with Ed Small before the game at Arizona. He is fired up and good to go. And before the game when we were down there, Ed's coming up to you going, hey, man, what's up?
Yeah.
How you doing?
He's so loose, man. This guy's a true freshman, and he is completely unfazed by the environment and by the moment. He makes big plays when he's asked to, and he's going to have an opportunity here.
So they get it off at around the 42. Small lets it go through, and it's a touchback.
Tim, that's a true freshman making a perfect decision and allowing that ball to go over his head and get into the end zone. Outstanding job by Small.
Well, you like that kid, I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
Timeout. No score at K-State. Midway through quarter number 1, TCU now with the ball. Let's go down to Josh.
Well, TCU quarterback Josh Hoover made his second career start at this very stadium 2 years ago, saying it was a game he would like to forget, saying things went fast. Game got out of hand really fast. They lost that game 41-3. When asked about it this week, he said, yes, that did come up. They don't forget that game. And while he doesn't want to dwell on the past, he wants to make sure people forget about that and remember a TCU win this time around, Tim.
Yeah, a youngster that was just out of Rockwall High School at that time, where he threw for over 10,000 yards. Out of Heath, Texas, Kavorian Barnes is in the backfield with him, and he'll tote it right here up the A-gap, and he gets out for a healthy gain of 8. 2nd down and 2. Rex Van Wy, number 28, the junior from Rock Rapids, Iowa, with a stop.
Right, you get motion out. You're going to have the linebacker follow, and when it opens up that space, the linebacker leaves. He's not in his fit. It allows for the runner to get down the field.
Manjack was in motion. Barnes again. Well, you can see why he makes such a difference, can't you? Those quick steps, that quick hop step. Quade Moss, number 6. You talk about a kid that's made a difference in this defense that's been hit with so many injuries. It's the star, 5'10", 185, Quade Moss, Division II kid, transferred out of West Georgia.
And he plays like it with a grit and an attitude.
1st down, Hoover over the middle. Manjack dropped it. Oh, it was right there between the 1 and the 4. And there's not a sadder man in this stadium right now than Manjack.
It's just not what you see from Manjack. Even though he doesn't wear the gloves, he always makes these catches. Even though it's a little bit on the back hip, he makes that play 10 times out of 10. Well, I guess technically 9.
Yeah. Barnes remains the setback. The fake the reverse, give it right back to 14. Manjack on a little bubble screen, gets it out to the 40-yard line. So they get 8 yards out of it to set up a third down and manageable.
I just love getting the ball right back to him, right? Hoover, a veteran quarterback, understanding one of my best football players, dropped a pass, not characteristic, get it back to him right away, and he makes it a 3rd and short.
Kendall Briles, the offensive coordinator for Sonny Dykes, really loves the way Hoover runs things.
The box is light here, and I imagine that offensive coordinator Kendall Briles is getting to a good run play to pick up this 3rd and short.
55% on third down conversions. They're tops in the Big 12, second in the Big 12, and nationwide they're 9th in third down conversions. Barnes carrying it. Flag is down. Purnell made the stop, number 32.
So good recognition by offensive coordinator Kendall Briles. Obviously, you may have a pass play called, but when you see a light box, you want to get to your runs, the best one you have, and they do that and pick up the first down. But it's going to be an extracurricular personal foul after the play penalty. It looks like it may be on TCU, wide receiver number 1, Eric McAllister.
Yeah, they're just getting him back. This is really the first time that Briles has had the full complement of his receiving core healthy and ready to go. And McAllister is the best of that group, number 1.
There's unsportsmanlike fouls on both teams after the play.
Oh, boy.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 1. Unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 25. Those penalties canceled, it will be first down. That is his first unsportsmanlike conduct for number 1 on the offense and number 25 on the defense.
You usually only get the second guy, Tim, but right here, you can see Eric McAllister does take his helmet off and then the shove. But it's good that the referee's got both guys rather than just the second guy. So you have to remember, these are 2 important players. That's their first personal foul penalty, and if they get another one, they both will be ejected from the game.
And by the way, they had to throw the second one. They really did. Because that foul came at the end of the play. McAllister stays in the game. They go empty, and there is the ball caught by Ed Small, the aforementioned freshman of some influence. This kid has some future. He's of the Julian Edelman. You think about those kinds of receivers, Wes Welker type. Sonny Dykes has a penchant for mentioning Texas Tech guys.
And when you think about those guys, you think great route running, great recognition of what the defense is trying to do, and that's what you see in that true freshman.
Second down, 1. I love the way Barnes surveys. You can tell he's a thinking man's running back. Malcolm Alcorn Crowder, 55 with the tackle, a gain of 3.
Yeah, he's very slow to go in these situations, allowing the blocking schemes to develop. And as it starts to develop and he knows it's a short distance to go, he starts to power his way and get his feet behind his pads.
Running backs like to use the term sifting through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 1st and 10 with the ball at the 42. Hoover can run it too, and wisely gets down inside the 40 at the 37-yard line. Expect Josh to spread it around. No one uses more receivers than Hoover.
Yeah, and today you've got 2 different players at different positions, right? Quentin Harris, number 54, and Ben Taylor Whitfield, number 56. They swapped positions. Harris going to be now at the right tackle, and Whitfield at the left tackle, and the coaching staff thinks that they're more suited for those positions.
Barnes out of the backfield. He's going to be at least 2 yards shy of the first down, maybe 1. Donovan McIntosh, number 9, makes the stop. Well, it's going to be long 1 or 2, depending on how you want to look at things. We'll call it third down and a long 1.
Remember, they are not afraid to take a shot in this scenario. At the top of your screen, you got one-on-one coverage with Jordan Dwyer.
Bootleg action, dumps it right to the tight end, Chase Curtis, who along with DJ Rogers has been playing Outstanding football. Out for a first down, a 7-yard gain. Romaine the stop.
You like this little push throw? I'm just telling you, Tim, Kendall Browns is probably thinking, just run and get it, Hoover, right? Because now you're in that in-between space. I don't know if I'm going to get it. Are you going to throw it? Are you not? And then maybe it becomes a drop, but no harm, no foul of first down pickup for number 81, Chase Curtis.
From the 26, a pump fake and a beauty. Look at this. It's Manjack. Incomplete. Boy, he had a step. He did. That pump fake was a dandy. Wesley Fair, the strong safety, made the play, though.
I mean, what a throw. You cannot throw that football any better, and that's 2 drops by Manjack. And like I said, we do not see that often, but a perfectly thrown football by Josh Hoover.
Very rare to see that from Manjack.
In those last 2 times, you see he's kind of trying to trap the ball rather than his usual grab it out of the air with his hands.
Hoover, nothing doing there. That looked like a broken play. Des Purnell, the weak side linebacker, with the tackle. Loss of 2.
Purnell's going to get right down inside and make this play before it can even start. Looks like a bit of a miscommunication, but Purnell diagnoses it perfectly.
Senior out of Topeka, Kansas. Trent Battle comes into the game at running back, number 6.
You expect Kansas State to play coverage here and try to force Josh Hoover into a bad decision. Remember, the 2 tackles have switched position. Quentin Harris and Ben Taylor Whitfield. The rushers may have an opportunity here.
Looks like they're only bringing 3, but a blitz coming. It's picked up. Hoover with the outlet pass. It's caught by Rogers. And DJ Rogers has it to the 20-yard line. So 4 yards shy of a first down, and 4th down forthcoming.
Kansas State did exactly what you expected. They played coverage, and they expected their rush to get home. They got close, but a nice job of Hoover checking the ball down, getting it out, knowing that he's going to have an opportunity here on 4th down.
Timeout. Timeout taken by K-State. Well, we will, as they say, pause for the cause here on Fox and be right back. It's Fox College Football. It's sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. Did you hear how I said more there? I said more just the way you're supposed to say
more,
it. Yeah.
More.
And here's what more TCU needs. They need 4 yards. That's more. 7 out of 9 on the year on 4th down. That's first in the Big 12, by the way. Nationally, it's 4th in the country in conversions.
And the crowd is going crazy. They showed on the big screen a video montage of historic Kansas State tips and overthrows. Yep. Tips and overthrows. And you know what happens there. So expect one of these defenders to try to get hands on a football that Hoover throws.
We haven't called Dwyer's name yet. Small has come into the game. Hoover with time. And another drop. This one by Ed Small. Some heat was coming his way. Kansas State had it well defended.
Yeah, he's going on a little whip route, and he just slips in his route right. He goes for that hockey stop, but you can see when he gets there, his feet are too close together, right? And he slides, and now the timing is off. He can't make the catch. I think if he doesn't slip, he's going to be able to catch that and get the first down.
Yeah, they love the kid. The number 18, by the way, is meaningful. That's Jack Besch's old number. And he's a young man, by the way, that assumes that kind of leadership role even as a freshman, a true freshman.
And he's a super athlete. Remember, he was drafted early, and he was committed to play at Texas as a baseball player.
Besch, of course, a second-round pick by the Raiders. Quick slant caught by Jace Brown. And that's going to end the quarter. Jamel Johnson with the stop after they pick up a first down on a gain of 11.
And Jace Brown is a guy that they have to get involved, whether it's in the pass game, the run game, the screen game. It doesn't matter. He has to touch the football because he is a star. And when he can touch the football, they can have a run game. They're in a place where they can have real success.
Got to tell you, I'm impressed with the crowd. I'm always impressed with the crowd at this stadium. But given the kind of season they're had, so unaccustomed to a 2-4 start, they're here. The throngs of fans in purple are here. TCU has moved the ball but unable to score. Stay right where you are. Nothing, our score. And our game summary is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. A scoreless first quarter. Third time that's happened in Big 12 play, so that in and of itself is a bit of a shocker. TCU showing a 5-man front. Joe Jackson's in the backfield. Avery Johnson's got 4 passes completed for double-digit yards. And this time, Joe Jackson sets sail for a pickup of 3 on first down. Oyewale with a stop along with Obi Izor. Namdi, number 4. Oyewale, number 97. It's a second down and 7 situation coming up. Avery Johnson, as we touched on, without his go-to back, Dylan Edwards, has to take on so much more responsibility. And to this point, he's handled it pretty well. Looping it towards the sidelines, incomplete. Ahead of Jerron Bradley. Jared unable to reel that one in. Guarded closely by McIver. Jevon McIver, number 20. And it's third down. Bradley with 10 receptions, 152 yards on the year.
How aggressive are you if you're TCU? Right now, you can see they're leaving the middle of the field open. If you can get to that space for Kansas State, it'll be good.
You notice to this point that pass is caught by Oakley for the first down. They've stayed away from Bud Clark. We've not called his name, number 21, the leader in that secondary for defensive coordinator Andy Avalos.
Again, you see there on third down, soft coverage, and you have to wonder, when does Andy Avalos say, okay, let's get up in the faces of these guys and force those tight window throws like we're doing on first and second down?
You saw the Alexandria, Louisiana native, Clark, the leader of this TCU defense. Rice is in the backfield now. Rolling right, Johnson. Incomplete. He led Jace Brown a bit too far that time. There's no doubt in my mind they are staying away from Clark. And by the way, Matt Wells told us, hey, we've got to find other ways. Okay, I'm getting tired of having to plan for Bud Clark. I've done it at 3 different places in the Big 12 as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be. He's such a talented player. He's smart. He understands concepts, and he can really dissect your offense. He can't wait for him to graduate.
It has been, as they say, quite the dilemma for Matt, whether he was head coach at Texas Tech or calling the shots here at K-State. Rice out to the 47. Obi Izor again with a stop after a pickup of 5. Third down and 5 on the way.
That is really nice movement by this Kansas State offensive line, right? You got doubles up to the second level. Take a look at the new line of scrimmage that they create, right? They catch these guys and they start to just move them out of the way, and it makes it very easy for Devon Rice to get through the hole.
That's the Kansas State way when you think about it.
Yep.
It's worked for so many years under Snyder, and of course Kleiman, a North Dakota State protege. All kinds of time for Avery. Now he's going to tuck it and go. Did he hit the skids too quickly? I think he may have. He slid about 1.5 yards too soon.
Yeah, and you know when he's going to mark it where you start to slide, right? Not where you get to the ground on the slide, where you start to slide. And I think he definitely started to slide a bit prematurely, but this is good to see. He doesn't see anybody downfield. He tries to stay in the pocket, and then he turns on that superpower. However, I want to go head first if I'm Avery Johnson. Go head first. Make sure that you got the first down and leave no doubt.
Well, that might have been to some extent a business decision, right? He's got to stay healthy, too. On 4th and 1, he calls his own number. Why not? I think he felt personally responsible, right? He said, I'll get it and go down with my head first. Caleb Alarmzar, number 3, with the stop.
Those last 2 plays, you can see the dynamic speed of Avery Johnson and why a lot of fans were confused. Why aren't you using that weapon that you have? When he turns that on, when he activates those legs, it makes it increasingly difficult for defenses to be right.
Ontario Eaton is in the game. Ontario Elston, I beg your pardon. All 5'7" of him, all 5'7", 188. The freshman, true freshman right out of high school. Vernon Glover with the tackle.
What a nice job by Obi Izor. Right now, he's off the ball as a linebacker, but he is going to be the edge setter. Watch him get to the outside, keep that outside arm free, and make sure that he turns that back in right to his help for a nice stop.
Well, you see how deep they're going into the depth chart for running backs now. Not Rice, not J.B. Price, but Elston in the backfield. Flushed, rolling to his left, marker down, thrown in an area for holding. Pass is caught by Oakley, but hold everything. Little Yellow Hanky is going to bring this one back, it would appear.
Holding, offense, number 78, 10-yard penalty, second down.
You know, you got speed to power, you got spin moves, you got different moves. How about just power right into the chest of the tackle? Outstanding job by number 11 in white, making sure he just drives the tackle into the quarterback, and then he fights and fights to get off, and that's where the hold is called.
Devin Deal, he is a tough one to deal with, the senior out of El Paso. And John Pastore got caught.
The coaching staff of TCU thought that Devin Deal could have an opportunity to overwhelm some of these tackles for Kansas State.
And that negates what would have been their biggest play from scrimmage, a 19-yard gain. Johnson, that one was almost picked off. Bradley fell. I think he's got a little hitch in his giddy-up and is coming off the field to go with it. Channing Canada was in position to maybe pick that one off, but the ball climbed on him. You see he's holding his knee there as he comes off the field.
And for young wide receivers at home, look at the top of your screen there. He's running a curl route, and when you're running this curl route, you can't have your feet out in front of you. Look how far his feet are in front. You have to have what they call your nose over your toes to make sure that you don't slip. He slips there, and it's almost a turnover.
3rd and 18 now. Johnson unloads it. That ball looked to be caught by Tibbs. They're going to rule him inbounds, too, for the completion at the 47-yard line of the Horned Frogs.
It's a really nice job by Tibbs to reach out, fully extend it, and make that catch and somehow get a foot down. Watch him extend and then drop that left foot and even his shin on the turf to create a better punting situation.
Well, they got 8 yards on the play, so it's 4th and 10. And McClellan will punt it away. Ed Small again goes back deep, standing at his 10-yard line. In single safety. Pressure coming. End over end the punt. Small with the fair catch. At the 7-yard line, maybe the 8. 40-yard boot. We're in. I'll take Manhattan. You got us here on Fox this afternoon in the Big 12. Kavorian Barnes takes it out to about the 20-yard line. Donovan McIntosh with the stop, a pickup of 11 and a first down.
Just take a look at the left side of this offensive line. 2 guys making sure they clear it out for the runner. I mean, that is a hole you can drive a truck through.
Pump fake. Hoover dumps it on the check down to DJ Rogers. And he runs with authority past the 30 to the 31. They've got so much weaponry. That's a gain of 13. Rex Van Wy with a stop, number 28. Junior from Rock Rapids, Iowa.
And complete line change for Kansas State.
That was like a complete line change. Felt like I was at the bus stop.
What? I thought you were going to say at a hockey game.
Well, that too. Quick out. It's McAllister. And he gets it to the 37-yard line.
For offensive coordinator Kendall Briles, what I think he's going to start to notice is on to the field, they have off and inside coverage, right? Off and inside coverage, so the leverage is perfect for out-breaking routes for these outside receivers of TCU.
Well, to this point, Joe Clanderman's got to be excited. They've only had a couple of double-digit gains all day, TCU. They forced Hoover to check it down. That pass incomplete. Thrown behind the receiver, Dwyer. Jordan Dwyer. Donovan McIntosh is right there with him.
You have to love the chess match from Clanderman. He had off and inside coverage. Well, on that play, he changed it. And just like I thought, offensive coordinator Kendall Brown saw that. He caught an outside breaking right, but now the coverage is perfect and an off-target throw for Hoover.
4 wides with Rodgers in motion. Quick slant to Small, and he makes the grab. That's what they love about this kid. No matter how small Mr. Small is, he'll take the lick and keep on ticking. First down.
There will be no alligator arms for this young man. Watch him go inside, knowing he's going to get hit, snatch that ball out of the air, and still fight to get a little bit more after picking up a first down for TCU.
Already the 3rd first down of this drive, and yet they find themselves still on their own side of the field at the 44-yard line.
One thing they've showed that they are capable of doing is driving the football down the field throughout the season.
Oh, they don't mind dinking and dunking, and that's what K-State's forcing. That pass on a deep cross to Jordan Dwyer is caught, and a big gainer, their biggest of the day, 16 yards.
I love the run action, and it really opens up that middle of the field. They get some of those safeties, linebackers out of the way, and it's an easy throw for Josh Hoover and a great catch for Jordan Dwyer.
Barnes remains the setback out of the shotgun. It opens wide open for him. Inside the 30, down to the 27. Gabe Powers the tackle. A little woofing afterwards, too.
Take a look at Remington Strickland right here in the middle of your screen. He gets the double team there, and then he gets to the second level. He finds Payne, move out of the way, and it allows for Barnes to continue to get down the field.
Their 4th double-digit gash on a play in this drive. Fade pattern for the end zone. That ball was amazingly Ed Smalls from the jump. He just ran out of terrain.
Oh, my goodness. Even though that may be called an incompletion, that is impressive by Small.
I mean, he cradled it, didn't he?
I mean, that is impressive to have the control with your body, the ability to see the ball.
Look at that.
Find it with one. Oh, just a bit out of bounds with that right foot. That was close. Nice defensive play by B.J. Payne, making sure that it's incomplete.
Yeah, he made sure the boundary was his best friend defensively.
Quarterback draw is alive.
On 2nd and 10, quick hitch. Out to Jeremy Payne, and he feels some pain. Hammered right away by the K-State defense. Sideline to sideline. Middle linebacker Rex Van Wy. Yeah. Very involved in this game, a loss of a yard.
In those plays, it's kind of a box count. Do I have enough to run the quarterback draw? I think Hoover should have run the quarterback draw there. Kansas State had more guys on the outside, and that's why that play was unable to work.
Boy, these two defenses have come prepared today.
It looks like they may go back to that same option.
Blitz coming, jailbreak, and they run the perfect play. It's Small. He's big. He's down inside the 5 to the 1. B.J. Payne tripped him up to save the touchdown. What a read by Hoover.
You've got to recognize what's happening to you. You got blitzers coming down. Replace them with the throw, and a perfect throw by Hoover.
We're going to run a little push-tush. Hoover getting a push. Hoover mover did not work, even with Chase Curtis behind him.
Hey, Tim, I got another name. How about the Hoover maneuver?
Ah,
nice. You like that?
They're going to need to add to that maneuver.
Of course.
Let's go back to that play by Small. What an effort here.
Yeah, I mean, this true freshman is not a true freshman, a normal one. They really love his ability to play, understand situations, understand what the defense is trying to do, and his route running ability. You can see there a great hands catch, and he starts to fight to try to get as much as he can.
When you meet Ed Small, he's the kind of guy that you're thinking mom and dad are going to be in the backyard going, son, come on in, it's time to eat.
I know, right? He got a big smile on his face, kind of a light about him. I mean, it was really cool to meet him, and it's really even better to see him playing well.
Yeah, I'm thinking he should be at camp right now, right? Not here,
summer camp.
At a summer camp somewhere. Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. And by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Please drink responsibly. Well, what has been a magnificent drive, a long one by TCU, anchored by Ed Small. He's got 42 yards of the 85 that they've had on this drive. So half of this drive has been brought on by him. You think about the number all season long, he really didn't play very much until we were first told about him prior to the Arizona State game.
And he's extremely talented. And imagine having Corey Coleman as your specific slot receivers coach.
Jeremy Payne in the backfield. Oh, beautiful play call. Absolutely perfect for the touchdown. Jeremy Payne, the sophomore from Missouri City, Texas, takes it in, and it's 6-0 Horned Frogs.
You have guys to set the edge. However, they want to get in tight and try to stop that inside run. And when you do that, the old flip 90 to the end zone.
I'll give Kansas State's defense a lot of credit. They had held this explosive TCU offense in check, forcing them to dink and dunk. But then they got a couple of long pass completions on this drive. Ed Small, the catalyst, and Nate McCashland with the extra point. TCU should be ranked. Absolutely should have been ranked this week. They look to be ranked.
Me.
Yeah.
Hey, you know me.
Yeah, I do.
Everybody.
Look at that. Only 60 yards prior to that drive. I mentioned 42 of the 85 had belonged to Small, and they got the extra 8 yards for the touchdown. 93 yards that drive. And now Kansas State trailing for the first time 7-0 with Devon Rice back deep. And it'll be a touchback. Now he's been on the receiving end. That pass incomplete, intended for Oakley.
And after that incompletion, Kansas State is now 3 of 11 on first down production. You know, we talk about it all the time. It's the direct result of how you keep your team ahead of the chains. They've had 5 third and longs, and it's because that first down production, getting at least 4 yards, just hasn't been productive.
2nd down and 10 with Joe Jackson behind Johnson. Stretch play, and Joe Jackson gets out there, makes the edge, picks up 6 yards, shoved out by Jamel Johnson, number 2. So a gain of 6. 3rd down and 4 coming up.
Yeah, Kansas State is going to have a real opportunity with the play action game, because the person coming out of the middle of the field, Jamel Johnson, is who made that play. And if he's coming out of the middle of the field, that means there is nobody there, and you want to give hard play action and try to get guys behind those low safeties.
Matt Wells told us we've got to find other ways to run the ball. We can't lean on Avery all game long. 3rd down and 4. Johnson, oh, nice little move. That's what he can do. Gets you a first down when the play breaks down. Nnamdi Obiizor, the stop, a gain of 5, move the chains.
This is exactly what we saw in the Arizona State game. TCU is completely right. However, a dynamic quarterback with great athletic ability makes them wrong for a first down.
Speaking of, that is some story breaking this week about Sam Levitt's availability, isn't it? Wow. See what happens. Sounds as if Jeff Sims is going to get the nod. Accomplished quarterback himself later tonight. Johnson looping it deep. It's caught. It's Tibbs. It's first down. An explosive to be sure. And that gets the crowd on their feet.
What an incredible job by Avery Johnson. He sees a blitzer coming from deep, and he stands in the pocket, no fear, and drives a strike down the field to Tibbs.
They spotted at the 33 of TCU. TCU brings 5. Let's go back to the previous completion of 31 yards.
I mean, it takes real courage, Tim, to stand in there knowing you're going to get hit, make the throw, get the hit, and then you don't even get to see. You just wait for the crowd's reaction and the catch by Tibbs.
You're your own sound effect. I like that. They're forming their letters down there. Second down and 9. Fake the pitch. There's Oakley. Look out. Garrett Oakley. How do you do?
I said it, Tim. It starts with number 2 in that purple jersey. This drive was all him, a perfect throw up the seam for a touchdown.
And you know what? The fake pitch had Bud Clark bite.
Remember, I talked about that play action.
Yeah.
You were able to get the ball down the field. They use it with the fake pitch, and it's a perfect execution by the Kansas State offense.
I mean, I give it to Bud Clark. Great player. But they deked him that time, faking the pitch to Jackson, and then finding the big Oak. And Oakley, the junior from Columbus, Nebraska, takes it in. He's up there with Ben Sinnott and Henry Childs, all time at tight end here. Fox College Football, sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Well, the defense has ruled the day in the opening quarter. Now each team has gotten things going on the offensive end. A long drive for Kansas State and a quick one with some explosive plays in it to answer the 93-yard TCU effort moments ago. And Garrett Oakley lumbered into the end zone for the touchdown, 32 yards away. Major Eberhardt will bring it out from the goal line. What a hit at the 25-yard line. Gavorian Barnes takes it ahead to the 27-yard line. Ilalio with the tackle. Well, there's a nose tackle that's got some speed, Devin. Pick up a 3.
If you start to sneak these safeties down, you got an opportunity outside.
Uh-oh. That could be considered a lateral. Small was behind. That pass went backwards. It's recovered by Wesley Fair. That's a touchdown. That's a Kansas State touchdown. That was a lateral, not a pass. Flag down late.
So you got here a lot of different things happening. It could be a backward pass, but it could not. However, after the touchdown, I love the referees allowing it to play out. After the touchdown, the ball is thrown into the stands, which you cannot do in college football. That's close.
They ruled it a backwards pass on the field.
That's very close.
Scooped up by Fair, number 18, and he wisely took it to the end zone.
Now remember, Wesley Fair, he picks it up and he scores, but then he throws the ball in the end zone, so that'll be a penalty if it's not ruled a backward pass.
The field is a touchdown. After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 18. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. That is the first unsportsmanlike conduct of number 18. The previous play of a backwards pass is under review.
And you're right. This is going to be very close, Devin.
Yeah. All right, so here's the penalty from Fair. I mean, he's very excited. He's been waiting to play well all season, and you just can't do it, right? That's against the rules. You can't throw the ball in the stands, and it's all good if it's assessed on the kickoff. But what if it's not a backward pass? And, Mike, this is very, very close. What do you think?
It's very, very close, but the key phrase here, remember that parallel is backwards. It has to be clearly forward to be forward. So therefore, I think this is as close to parallel as you can get. So therefore, I think it stays as a backward pass. If they were to reverse it, by the way, to a forward pass, that unsportsmanlike would still be enforced. Enforced, which would give the offense a first down. But in my opinion, Mike, I don't think they can change this.
You know I like to get on the table, and I think that he throws that ball from the 22-yard line, and it's touched at about the 21.5, right? So I think that's certainly a backward pass, and Wesley Fair is going to get away with one here.
I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to leave this to you two, okay? I don't want any part of this.
What'd you say there?
I want no part of it, okay? See, I've learned over time. I'm a slow learner, but I've learned.
Now,
okay?
Tim, you're going to have to be who you are, Tim.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
Well,
hey, Mike, tell Tim what he needs to do.
Tim.
Yes, sir.
I heard you earlier. Now, Tim, you got to get with the times here, even though you may not like it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, for a guy from San Jose, California, he's got a pretty good Southern drawl.
I mean, I don't even think he's heard Terry, and he knows exactly how to say Tim.
Well, he did meet Terry at a seminar a few years ago. He did.
There you go.
She's already had an impact on him. Or as she might say, him. Here's the extra point, and it's good. K-State has a history of scoring points from their defense. This, however, is their first one this year. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Fittingly, they've been running that lovely song, "You Gotta Have the Swag."
Little swag.
During the timeout.
Little swag, little surf.
Yeah, when you get a little touchdown and get the lead for the first time, and you do it with your defense, and you think back to the great teams that Kansas State's had, their defenses generally score points. They don't just force you into a bad field position circumstance, but they score points. This is the first time their D has scored any points this year.
And Tim, it's the old thing I always tell you, tips and overthrows. It applies for backward passes as well.
It does.
Tips and overthrows.
But
they always turn into bad things for the offense.
That penalty, though, is significant. As Mike Pereira said, it's still enforced. Whether that play had been upheld or overruled, they got to kick it at the 20. This should give the Horned Frogs great field position. Everhart and Ed Small are back deep, and they'll place kick it from the 20.
And when you think about it, it was nothing that Kansas State did there. That was all TCU self-inflicted.
Small. Nice bolt ahead to the 39-yard line. And TCU knows, we mentioned a few moments ago before that ill-advised backwards pass, this team ought to be ranked. But they need to prove it by getting the W today on the road. Barnes past the 40 to the 43-yard line.
It's a good start to the drive, but you got to go fast if you're TCU. Obviously, it's exactly how they play to begin with. So they're in a perfect spot with a nice gain of 5 yards on first down.
And it is clear that this Kansas State team is playing with a chip on its shoulder today. Barnes, look at that cut. And now he delivers a blow. That is a combination of quickness and power in one rushing play. McIntosh the tackle.
It's a really nice job by left guard number 60, Cade Bennett, of just controlling his three technique and moving him out of the way to clear space.
First and 10. Pass just behind Jordan Dwyer. That's probably the second Hoover pass that's been just a little off target, and he's the kind of guy that'll beat himself up over that because it was right there.
Yeah, the one thing you know about him, though, is that he will respond. And usually when you see a bad throw, he responds with a really good one, and I expect that here.
Yeah, he had a couple of drops earlier, you might recall, too. One by Manjack and another by Eddie Small. Pressure coming. Hoover's pretty resourceful back there, too. And he lets it fly out of bounds, intended for Eric McAllister. 3rd and 10. Only one timeout remaining with TCU, 2 for Kansas State.
Number 51, Colton Deary, the center, is very gingerly moving around here. He's waved his teammates off and said he doesn't need to go off the field. You got to love the toughness, but Can you still hold up for your team with an injury?
On third down, Hoover dumps it. That's his favorite target today, DJ Rogers. But he's going to be 4 yards shy of a first down. Fourth down, and you know Kendall Briles is going to go. Timeout.
Very lucky for TCU that Kansas State only rushed 3, and Colton Deary didn't have to use both his arms because it looks like he's feeling it a little bit down there in the upper body area. Tim, this is a really big decision here because there's a lot of time on the clock left for Kansas State. Although they only have 1 timeout, 1 minute it seems like an eternity because of the way these two teams play with great speed. And you can see Kansas State's in the groove. You can see number 51, Colton Deary, kind of working that arm out to make sure he's ready for this big-time 4th down.
Well, you don't want to lose your center, do you?
You do not.
A situation like this right before the half. Well, with 5 minutes left in the first half, the score was 0-0. But now we've had a flurry of action in the last 4 minutes of this game. 4th down and 4 on what would be deemed a get-even drive for TCU.
On plays like this, I always like to think players rather than plays. And the player that's had real success, he's in the slot, the true freshman, Ed Small.
He was covered up, and now Hoover's got to do it himself. Marker down, thrown in an area where it would be holding. Hoover did get to the line to make before being knocked out of bounds, but hold everything. Brayvon Barrett will give us the indication. As I said, thrown in an area where holding would be the call.
Holding, offense, number 56, 10-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's Taylor Whitfield.
Yeah, and Taylor Whitfield, he's expecting that football to come out quickly, right? So it's kind of a surprise that you had to run around, and it's because Hoover was trying to get to the very guy I highlighted, Ed Small, but guess what? TCU or Kansas State knew it as well. A great job by number 3, Gunnar Maldonado, of flying through to make sure he stops that completion.
Yeah, that means they're going to have to boot it away now on 4th and 14.
Yeah, but they had missed one there. You got Curtis down the seam, wide open, and that's because of the safety vacates. The safety vacates, he gambles, he bets. Number 3, Gunnar Maldonado, and he guesses right.
Crawl with the left-footed punt. Beautifully done. And it lands like a Mac Daddy from Callaway inside the 10. 42-yard boot. We'll go back to that play one more time. You're right. Small was the guy that they wanted to get it to.
Take a look right there. Small's going to run his slant route, and he can't get it to him. Josh Hoover can't because Maldonado's right there. And so it forces him to hold the ball a little longer. You get a holding call. You start to run out and try and make a play, and you have to punt that football away.
Meanwhile, Curtis is jumping up and down, hands on his hat.
Yep.
Screaming, "Why not me? Why not me?" But the penalty in all likelihood had already occurred by that time. One would think Kansas State would simply take a knee right here.
I hope that they would have tried to do something, right? Go get 3 maybe. But I am not upset with them taking a knee here, going into half, readjusting, seeing that they are up 14-7, and they haven't even played their best football just yet.
Absolutely. And what we've seen from TCU is really they've been forced to dink and dunk, but then they stopped themselves with a play they thought was legal but was not. And that's the difference in the game at this stage. 14-7, the Wildcats trying to get right after starting this year at 2-4. Josh Sims is chatting with Chris Kleiman as we go to break, and that's the end of the half with our score 14-7. Wildcats, how do you do? Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. We welcome you back. Coach Snyder's Family Stadium is rocking, and for good reason. Kansas State with the lead over favorite TCU, along with Devin Gardner, Tim Brando. Well, no Dylan Edwards, no problem.
Yeah.
Superman can put on the cape, and to this point, Avery Johnson's done just that.
He's done a really nice job of leaning into his superpower, his legs, and it's really helped this team, right? One of my keys is making sure they find a way to run the ball, and he's been able to create plays, pick up first downs with his legs, and then he has the ability to move around and make plays with his arm as well. The run opens up the pass, and then you get a little bit of extra help from your defense, being aware, understanding it's a backward pass, scooping, scoring, and putting you in the lead. They don't have the ball to start the half, but can they continue capitalizing on the mistakes of TCU? And for TCU, can you settle down, make sure you get back to the way that you played football on your touchdown drive?
Major Everhart brings it out. Going to run a long way to get it out to about the 25-yard line. And Josh Sims has the story for us at halftime.
Well, Timmy B, Sonny Dykes told me the biggest issue for their team are these self-inflicted wounds. He says we're missing throws, we're dropping passes. He said that backwards pass that led to that touchdown for K-State, that's an inexplicable mistake. We can't have that. He said when we execute, we make the right plays and limit mistakes. We are a good team. We need to get back to doing that out here in the second half.
You can make a real case, Devin, that TCU's gotten in their own way a little bit in this game.
And I wouldn't even say you make a case. That's exactly what's happened. TCU has been in their own way, and that's not something you've seen throughout the season. Can they get back to playing clean football is the question here in the second half.
Small, incomplete. Little shovel pass to him that time. That was well diagnosed, though. I'll tell you, Joe Clanderman's defense has been spot on today.
You remember that play earlier in the half when I said, yeah, I bet offensive coordinator Kendall Browse wants to see his quarterback maybe run. Well, that's the reason, because in those short opportunities to throw the ball, it's just difficult to catch the football. A nice job on the defensive side.
Barnes. Boy, he can make such great adjustments on the fly in the middle of a run. Gunnar Maldonado runs him down. Maldonado's had a very good game on hold. But it is a first down.
Yeah, there's just nobody there. You go down, the defensive end is up the field, and he does a nice job of winding this play back to pick up a nice gain.
You can tell why or how they missed him a lot when he was unavailable. Hoover underneath, looking for Rogers, the tight end. Well defended again. Des Parnell was all over it. And it was in traffic, and he comes up a little gimpy, does DJ Rogers. He'll take himself out of the game. Curtis, 81, checks back in at tight end.
This is a really nice job by Purnell jumping in to stop that from being a completion. You can see Rogers start to leak, and for Hoover, he's trying to keep him in that same position, and you don't want to see Rogers coming off the field limping.
Set up the screen, nothing doing for Small. He gets ahead for about a yard, and that's all. Kansas State's been absolutely well-schooled and have scouted this team very well. Travis Bates, the transfer out of Austin P, 39, was involved in that play. 3rd down and 8. Blitz coming. Pass is caught. It's Small. And that Small is thrown down at the 45 by Maldonado.
When you bring the blitz, you have to essentially play soft coverage. Hoover, even though he's going to take a shot here, finds out where the soft coverage is. He takes the hit and makes a perfect throw outside to the true freshman, Ed Small. A catch, a turn, and a first down for TCU.
Yeah, Purnell got him pretty good, too. 32 on that blitz, but a little late. Curtis, the tight end.
Pass complete to number 81.
Small, by the way, has 5 catches on the day, number 18, and could have been more. He had a drop or 2 in that first half. 2nd and 8 coming up.
The one thing you haven't seen is the shot down the field, and you always wonder with the Kendall Browse offense, when is it coming? This is another opportunity with the safeties fairly low.
Barnes bangs in there for about 2 inside the 40 to the 39.
All right, running back number 2, Kavorian Barnes, lined up outside, and you have, it looks like Ed Small in the backfield going to motion out and create this empty set.
Third down 5. Blitz coming up the gut, a late blitz. And that forces him to throw it out of bounds, incomplete. Delayed blitz that surprised Hoover a bit, and he just got out of the pocket and unloaded.
Yeah, TCU tried to get a beat on what the coverage might be. And Kansas State stayed in that zone defense, right? So you go zone defense, you try to get the ball out early, but that stunt or that twist allows Jordan Allen to get right down the middle, number 91 for Kansas State, and force Hoover out of the pocket.
That's the sophomore playing a lot in place of Osunsami. Big Toby, 44, unavailable for the rest of the year after his injury.
Kansas State has been very antsy. I would love to see for TCU to go hard count here to see if they can get him off sides and get a free play.
And the Horned Frogs will take a timeout. So it's 4th down and 5. Clearly they want to right the ship on this opening drive of the second half.
My conversation would be, hold your water. Hold your water. We're going to try to get him off sides here, get a free play, and get a chunk play down the field here on 4th down.
Can't say enough about Joe Clanderman's defense today. He said, what we have to do is spread the stress, mix in some different defensive looks, and force Kendall Briles and his quarterback to be thinking about a lot of different things.
And they've done that. You've seen mugged up looks from the linebackers where they drop out. You've seen mugged up looks where they try to get after the quarterback. They're doing as much as they can because when you're playing against a quarterback like Josh Hoover, he's very smart. He understands where to go with the football quickly, so you have to try to confuse him in different ways, and they've done a nice job of that.
We've talked about their 4th down efficiency. They've connected coming in on 7 out of 9. Missed one earlier in this game, however. Huge play early in the 3rd quarter.
On downs like this, it's been at the top of your screen. It's been Ed Small, but this Kansas State defense, they know that.
Pressure coming. That pass is tipped. Almost caught by Small, incomplete. Tipped at the line by Jordan Allen. Boy, 91 is having himself a whale of an afternoon.
Yeah, so they gave a different look. Again, they acted like Allen was going to come, and then he drops out right underneath Ed Small, who was open. What an outstanding defensive call by defensive coordinator Joe Clanderman. What an outstanding play by 91 in purple.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Percussion section is loving it. A lot of noise being made here, and Josh Hoover, who has struggled in this game against a defense that's really been stingy, looking a lot more like the K-State defenses of old in today's game. They take over now at their own 39. Joe Jackson the setback. Bradley in motion. Quick slant, incomplete for Tibbs. Let's go back to that 4th down play, Devin.
How good of a call was this by Clanderman? We'll take a look. You got Ed Small. He's had a good day all day, and you got exactly what you want. Well, take a look here. No, you do not. You've got a big, strong man who's rushed well, but now he drops out right underneath. Give the appearance that you have what you want, and then take it away by defensive coordinator Joe Clanderman.
Nothing like those defensive ends that can get back into pass coverage, huh?
Absolutely.
A.K.A. Charles Haley-esque. Pressure, and down goes Avery Johnson. And the big deal is Devin Deal, number 11. He is a relentlessly effort guy every time out.
Power and a relentless pursuit. Power and relentless pursuit. Power, and then the relentless pursuit to get to Avery Johnson. Hands in the face, doesn't matter. Face mask, I don't care. Devin Deal with the sack.
Yeah, they could have easily thrown a flag there, too. 3rd down and 20. Johnson, quick drop. Going deep. And quality coverage against Tibbs by Vernon Glover. And a punt formation coming up.
That's a way to stand up if you're TCU's defense. And, you know, we saw kind of a defensive back-and-forth battle early in this game, and it looks like it's heading that way again. A nice job by both these defenses of standing tall against these offenses that can be very explosive.
McClellan will boot it away. Should get it off around his 18, 19-yard line. Low trajectory, Small on the run. And he gets right into a Wildcat that was waiting for him with bated breath.
And then a flag comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, he lives for these moments.
Kick, holding, number 26, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down, TCU.
Sonny is really upset about that, too. That's going to back him up even further.
Let's try it again. Take 2.
I'm out at 1, okay? 14-7 our score. Just underway third quarter. Here's Josh with more on K-State at halftime.
When I asked Chris Kleiman about the first half, he said, we're not playing well enough. We need to play faster. We need our guys to strain more, to put in that extra effort. Remember, this team 1-4 in one-score games so far this season. I asked him about that as well at the half. He said, look, we need to see who is going to make that extra play that could be the determining factor in these type of games as we're in another one yet again.
Yeah, I'd say this one is destined to go to the final possession. Question will be, who has the final possession? Hoover running out of time, and down he goes. They've got him confused, Deb. There's no doubt in my mind. Hoover's feet are not right.
Desmond Purnell is playing like a madman today, putting himself in positions to make plays left and right, and he makes yet another one.
Up behind the sticks again. This one's picked off. Intercepted by Purnell. Des Purnell, a touchdown.
What an incredible play by Purnell yet again. And this time, he has reservations for 6 in the end zone.
Yeah, I said it right before the interception. They look dazed and confused. So it started with the loss. The sack began all of this.
Purnell.
Yeah. And then from dazed, the ball goes into the hands of Dez. Yeah. From dazed to Dez, and Purnell had those reservations. You're right. His first career interception in his 47th game, his second career touchdown, Desmond Purnell. A difference maker in this game, and you know, that interception thrown by Hoover was brought on really from what Clanderman was doing defensively late in the first half and carried through with the sack and then the interception, the pick six. Let's take a look at it one more time, and you were all over this one.
Yeah, when you see Hoover make a play like this, you always wonder why. Well, it's because your talented wide receiver McAllister only has 1 reception for 7 yards, and so now you want to try to get him the football. The problem is Purnell has eyes on you the entire time. He gets underneath it and makes a great play. A linebacker hands catch and then gets to the end zone. I'm telling you, Tim, he was a talented running back in high school, and he showed the ability to catch the football and run with it after right there.
Very active in this game. He and Austin Romaine have had their way as linebackers in Clanderman's D today. Now TCU in a world of hurt. This may be too much time. Let's see.
Delay game.
Wow.
Offense.
Wow.
Number 10. 5-yard penalty.
Now the crowd may have something to do with this, right?
Yeah, I think so. This crowd is loud. The band is playing. And you can see TCU is a bit flustered. They have to settle down and find a way to get back on track.
Yeah. I'm not one of those guys that gets into body language a lot, but I'd say Sonny Dykes' look kind of says it all right now. And we got a false start.
It's going to be on McAllister.
False start. Offense, number 1. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yep. Give Zayshawn Rich a little credit on that one. That little twitch of his may have had something to do with McAllister leaning in. 1st and 20. I don't think I've ever seen Sonny this upset on the sideline. Barnes. They had him at the point of attack. No room. He'll get a yard. Sayamalo with the tackle. Uso Sayamalo out of Garden City Community College.
Kansas State is getting very arrogant. Take a look at Payne right here to the left of your screen. He's going to start to come down. He's going to get an extra hit on Barnes to make sure this play is stopped. With the safeties low, you got to throw the go.
Look out. Hoover. He throws it to Barnes, and Kavorian sets sail down the sideline. He may have been over the line of scrimmage. And I don't think this one was very close. He may have been a couple of yards past the line of scrimmage this time.
You can see that the TCU offense right now is pressing. They're pressing. They're trying to find a way. They're grasping for straws. Right here, Hoover, we've seen him make plays like this.
Offense, number 10, was beyond the line of scrimmage before he threw the ball. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Lost it down. 3rd.
Yeah, and you can see that's a face of a coach that sees that his team, especially offensively, is pressing, trying to find something, and it wasn't particularly close, so I expect that they won't go to review, but it looks like they are going to jog over and check. And this time, Tim, I'm with you. I do not think there should be a review.
No, it wasn't even close.
And that's a long jog for the referee. We're going to be here waiting for just a moment.
Yeah, he was 2 yards past it with his front foot. I mean, I just don't get this. I'll never understand it. I will never understand it. You're right there. Your guy had the call. It's an easy call to make.
Yeah, it should be very quick, though, I would hope. But this just gives Sonny Dykes some more time to ponder, how is this happening? How is my offense beginning to press? How are we not in position to make plays time and time again? And the ball's still in his hands there, right? Rolling one more clip. Now the ball's out. He's a yard and a half at the least.
At least.
Past the line of scrimmage.
At least. This is way too easy to have to go back and look at all over again. And again, I don't mean to sound like the grumpy old man, but
you sound like the grumpy old man.
I'm sorry.
But I'm young, and I'm a little grumpy too here.
After review, the penalty for a illegal forward pass has been upheld. It will be 3rd down.
Now we got a long jog from the 20 about, what was that, about 80 yards for the referee to get back in position?
Listen, I get my steps in airports. You know, I don't take the trams. These guys, these officials are getting their 10,000 steps in.
Man, look at this run.
So they can get the official replay.
But that's the one thing you will say. You can't say these officials aren't in shape.
3rd down and 23. It's a long way to go. They're going to go trips up to the top of your screen. McAllister, the lone wide receiver, to the bottom of your screen. And a little shovel pass underneath to Trent Battle. And he gets it back to about the original line of scrimmage, where it will be 4th and 10. Obi Izor the stop. That was a disastrous series for TCU.
Yeah, and this Kansas State defense just continues to gain momentum and come to life as they continue to make plays on this talented TCU defense.
Kroll will punt it away. Sterling Lockett back deep. Well, that's a boomer. He's got him backing up. And Lockett is twirled down at the 25. That's a magnificent boot, and one that they really needed, TCU. 53 yards. You know that the Wildcats were looking forward to that good field position.
Sonny Dykes can tell you how that last drive went. Just a visual effect of Sonny during that last drive.
He's just confused. It's confusion of what is going on. This is not the TCU offense that I've seen all season. How are we playing this way?
Joe Jackson is the setback. Avery Johnson and company with a 2-touchdown advantage. Jackson leaning forward to get 3 yards on that play. Well, it's up to the Horned Frogs defense to get the ball back for them. You know, that's one thing I can say about the Big 12 games that you and I have seen this year. We've seen quite a few. The defenses in this league have really improved, which says a lot about how dynamic quarterback play has been even through that.
Yeah, but for TCU, they're starting to creep those safeties down, and Avery Johnson is feeling good about himself. He has an opportunity to throw this ball over their heads.
On 2nd and 8.
Jackson, plenty of wide open spaces.
They had no one to set the edge there. 21 yards on the carry.
Take a look here at number 56, Andrew Langang, coming around and leading up through. How about the pulling ability by the big fella to get out in front and make sure that Jackson has some space to get down the field?
Well, they talked about trying to get yards somehow, some way on the ground.
And how about the ball security?
Yeah, right.
Both hands covering that wrist, making sure that the ball is protected, because the only way you feel like they may be able to get in that game is if you turn the ball over.
The previous long rushing play for K-State was 6 yards. That one went for 21. Rice, pass incomplete. And we're hoping to have that little wide receiver screen set up. Did not go the way they had liked. It's 2nd down and 10.
Tim, I'm telling you, these safeties, they're creeping down. You have to think that Matt Wells, offensive coordinator for Kansas State, sees that, and there's going to be a shot taken here at some time.
Garrett Oakley is the tight end. Lines up on the left side. Out pattern caught. Jace Brown. Marking 3 yards shy of the first down, a gain of 7. Bring the extra lineman in. Kansas State makes their way back out with some changes, and we're going to see Lincoln Cure. You talk about a young body that's going to be something special. How about this kid? He's a true freshman, 4-star turned 5-star. Out of Goodland, Kansas. A tight end that's moved to wide receiver. Out pattern. It's caught by Swanson, the other tight end. First down. Will Swanson, his last catch was just for 5 yards in the Arizona game. They're moving as many people in and out of there as possible. From the 30. Jaron Bradley's checked in. He moves flank to the top of your screen. Jackson. Give him a yard. Obi Izor led the charge defensively. Already down 2 scores. Over halfway through the third quarter. There's Andy, another former head coach over at Boise State. Jackson, he got past him on the edge again. Shoved out by Austin Jordan. I think they're going to say he's 1.5 yards maybe shy of the first down. But his quickness, I think, surprised TCU there.
Yeah, and if you're an offensive lineman for Kansas State, you can't get knocked back in the path of the pulling offensive lineman.
3rd and 1. He is stoned at the line of scrimmage here. Jordan leads the charge. Well, do you take some points here?
You get your field goal team in there or no? We'll give you a 17-point lead.
The way you're running the football right now, I think you have to trust your quarterback right there. A lot of options you have here. Avery Johnson is playing really clean football. You can allow him to get on the edge. He's a big, strong guy. You can go under center and go quarterback sneak, or you can just go quarterback power, allow a lead blocker, and allow him to find and sift his way through to pick up the first down.
4th and inches. Johnson on his own. Got it. He was one move away from getting to the second level.
That's sifting if I've ever seen it, right? I say, go to the quarterback power. He gets to the quarterback power, drop steps, and starts to find his way. And like you said, he's one arm tackle away from breaking it. A nice job of trusting your quarterback by offensive coordinator Matt Wells, and a great job by Avery Johnson delivering.
So that would suggest that Kansas State's going for the jugular right now. Johnson over the middle. He's got the tight end, Oakley. Touchdown.
We've talked about it ad nauseum. The safeties are low, so it allows an opportunity for your tight end to get right up the seam. Because you've ran the ball well, he doesn't back up. He's wide open. A nice throw and strong hands by Garrett Oakley.
What was I thinking? Of course he's going for it on 4th down. Rodriguez has been pretty good, though. And he comes in now for the extra point. There are good times, and then there are good times. Oakley with his 4th touchdown. Avery's 12th touchdown pass of the season. Oh, chic to chic. Hello. 28-7 our scores. 3:57 remaining here in the third. The defense has ruled the day so far.
Yeah, when we talked to defensive coordinator Joe Klanderman, he said, you know, it's always been who's going to make the play for us, right? Throughout the years, somebody always makes the play, but it started to look early in the season like it's who's going to screw it up. Well, This has not been the case today. Guys everywhere have done their part, especially Desmond Purnell, who you just saw have a touchdown interception return.
Well, let's see who's gone above and beyond. Sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above, and I've got no problem giving that defense some love. Look at that.
Certainly, they've done an amazing job. It started with that backward pass, unforced error for TCU, gone for a touchdown, and from there, it seems like it's been a snowball, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now TCU is down by 21 points, and nobody saw this coming.
Jeremy Payne, number 26, is in the backfield. Now down by 3 scores. A lot of work for TCU to do. To give you some indication about the history of this program, Kansas State in the last 25 years has 65 defensive touchdowns. 65 in a quarter century. Until this year, they had 0. And today, they've come away with 2 big defensive scores. And Eli Leo is down on the field, 56. He's injured, number 56. There he is, the Hall of Famer. He helped engineer some of those magnificent teams. One of the greatest I got to see in 1997, that team that could have very easily played for the national title but lost the Big 12 title game, went on to beat Syracuse and Donovan McNabb in the Fiesta Bowl in 97. He had great linebackers, Semino, so many really, really outstanding players. Michael Bishop was the quarterback of that team. I remember so well. He built the program really from scratch. A few years earlier, it was KU and Kansas State playing in what they called the Futility Bowl on the front cover of Sports Illustrated. And he has seen this program continue its exploits under Chris Kleiman, who sees the game the same way Coach Snyder sees the game. Don't beat yourself. Let your defense do the job. Run the ball and stop the other team's run.
And that's why it's been so confusing for fans of Kansas State throughout this season, because they've done those things. They've beaten themselves.
Yep.
And today you see TCU is doing a little bit of that, and Kansas State is avoiding it.
2nd down and 9 for Hoover. There's McAllister. He's got it, and look out. He's electric once he gets it. Inside the 50 to the 47.
If there's an offense that can come back from this deficit, it's TCU, but they have to get out of their own way. Not a particularly accurate pass. However, McAllister reaches back with that long frame and makes a play.
Look out. Small's got it. In the seam. It's Small. What a reverse. Down to the 5. There is no give up in this team. Des Parnell with a saving tackle. 41 yards.
Just a post into the middle of the field. A very nice job and a perfect throw. Protecting your receiver over the middle. Ed Small makes another big play.
Hoover going fade for McAllister. I want to go back to the Small catch and the moves that he made after the catch, too.
His name is Small, but he makes big plays, and he continues to find a way to get down the field. Look at this little move, Gonna go back inside and find my way closer to the end zone.
Daniel Cobbs thought he had him, but it was not to be.
6 catches, 101 yards for the true freshman. How about a coming out party in Manhattan?
Young man out of Austin, Texas. 2nd and goal. Keep an eye on the tight end, Curtis, in the slot to the bottom of your screen. It's Payne, well defended. Still, he manages to get it to the 3, maybe the 2. Austin Romaine ushered him out.
TCU tried to garner the numbers there, but they just didn't have it. Nice pursuit by the inside defenders of Kansas State.
Going quickly out of the shotgun. Payne in the backfield. Play fake. There he is. Small. He ran out of real estate. Out of bounds. Boy, you talk about a difficult moment now. You've got 4th down. You need a touchdown desperately.
Yes, that first foot is on the white.
Yeah.
A very nice pickup by the officials, making sure they say incomplete. Another 4th down for TCU. Players, not plays, and though Small has had great success, I come down to the bottom.
There it is to the tight end, Curtis. As advertised, 81 in the red zone. That was a must-score 4th down accomplishment.
And that's how you quiet the crowd. 81 just going to come into the flat. And a nice little toss. We've seen this play time and time again today, and it works again for TCU's offense. What a response, because this game could have easily gotten away from you.
Oh, I don't know that they would have recovered if they don't convert that 4th down. 2nd touchdown for Curtis this season. We saw the other one. Hoover's first touchdown today, his 16th of the year. Horned Frogs are really, really good, folks. They've been stopping themselves with the help of K-State. 28-14. Now you see a little more bounce in the step of the TCU players along that sideline. But Devin, even in that drive, Hoover has been a little off target today. His passes have been a little behind his receivers, particularly those over the middle.
Yeah, just a bit, and I talked about it in the previous drive, just a bit of pressing from not only just Hoover, TCU in general. And remember, he had some of those drops early, and it can make you tight as a quarterback. He has to loosen up and continue to play the way he just played on that last drive.
Let's go down to Josh Sims with more on this TCU D.
Well, I can tell you during that last drive for K-State on offense, the TCU defense showed some confusion out there, and I can tell you the leader of that defense, Bud Clark, he was extremely demonstrative, talking to his guys passionately as he came off the field. He paced around for a little while, then he got back in the huddle with his defense, dapped up all his guys, and he was the first guy off the bench when they scored that offensive touchdown, rallying his guys. And we know the leadership of this guy. We're seeing that on full display, even when things aren't going right for them.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways they call him Air Bud. He fills the air with a lot of joy, plays with great passion. Joe Jackson's in the backfield, and now he sets sail ahead for at least 7. On first down, Obi Izor, number 4, with the stop. He plays with such passion.
This Kansas State offensive line has really begun to control this football game, allowing Kansas State on offense to just pick up yardage in the run game at will.
They were very concerned about that coming in, particularly with no Dylan Edwards today. Here goes Avery Johnson. – 12 yards and a first down for the guy with those golden locks.
And this play is made because number 83 comes around and he secures the edge. Once the edge is secure with speed like Avery Johnson, you're going to pick up great yardage. A first down pickup on the ground for number 2 in purple.
We've had the pleasure of chatting with Avery several times, and there was no denying that he and this program had been humbled somewhat coming into the game.
And those were the words exactly of head coach Chris Kleiman. He said, not only just to play myself, I've been humbled, right? And I have to approach things a little bit differently right now. And he approached his team in a different way. You can't beat guys down when they're not playing well. He built them up, and you can see the results right now.
That was as congenial a meeting as we've ever had with Chris Kleiman. Not that he's difficult at all. He's not. He's always pleasant. But he's usually very business. Yesterday, he was, like I said,
transparent.
Yeah.
Very transparent.
Very candid with us. Second down and 7. Pressure coming. Outlet pass to Rice. He'll be stopped a yard, maybe a half yard shy of the first down by Bud Clark. A little back and forth between Bud.
Great recognition there by Avery Johnson when you get a running back in the flat, and he does what we call outflank the defense right away. You get him the ball quickly so he can pick up as many yards as he can.
We come to the end of 3. An outstanding quarter for the home team. Their defense scored for a second time thanks to Des Purnell. Clanderman's D looks to stiffen it up in the fourth quarter as they lead favorite TCU. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. No lead is safe, no matter the situation, good or bad, where TCU is concerned. Trailed by 14, came back to win against Deion Sanders and the Buffs, and of course had that 17-0 lead in the desert 2 Fridays ago in a game we had, only to see Sam Levitt and company come back and get the big win. Avery Johnson. Ball is on the ground, they say. Ball is on the ground, and TCU's got it. When he lunged forward, he lost the ball. When he lunged forward, he lost the ball. It was an RPO decision. He decided not to hand it off to Jackson, but to take it himself. When he lunged forward, it looked as though the ball came out. They're going to say first down.
And for Avery, you get away with one there. The one way to give this game away.
That ball is out. Now, did he recover it? Let's see. Oh, boy. Did he get it back? Deal, or Max Carroll knocked it out of there. Perhaps they said he recovered it because they're not going to review it. It must have been recovered and for a first down.
And I think it's the player who fumbles has to recover for a first down for it to advance.
Exactly. A real break for K-State. Joe Jackson to the 41.
And Tim, what I mean by that, say an offensive lineman recovers that fumble past the first down marker, they put the ball back to where the fumble happened because you can't recover it if you're not the person that fumbled it on that third down.
And you can bet that Andy Avalos and his staff are making sure his guys know this is the time you go and get the ball out. And Bud Clark, of course, specializes in that at that, number 21, in that secondary at safety.
As much as you want to run the football, the middle of the field is completely open.
And Jackson knows it. Gets it inside the 30 to the 29. Max Carroll the tackle again, number 33.
Tim, however you want to get there, the middle of the field is open, and they find a way to get there with number 4 in purple, Joe Jackson. Little face mask there. TCU gets away with it, but a big gain in a first down rush for Kansas State.
Well, he picked a heck of a day to have his most productive afternoon as a running back without Dylan Edwards ready to go. Jackson with a good cutback, but again, nice recovery and support coming from that secondary. Channing Canada with the tackle. Total yards in this game are virtually even. 290 yards for Kansas State, 288 for TCU.
How about the true freshman, number 31, Julius Sims, jumping in there and kind of making that play bubble to create a short game. Nice job. A true freshman coming in, understanding the magnitude of the moment and making a play for the defense.
Lincoln Cure has come in. He's split wide to the top of your screen, number 0. Jackson. Well, he is driving those legs forward. It'll be third down and about 3.
Kansas State has really found a run game, and it's the offensive line. They've done such a nice job of getting to the second level, something they haven't really shown throughout the season. They have found a way today to get on those linebackers. Obi Izor and his buddy, his running mate, Caleb Elarms-Orr, they're getting covered up, and it's a lot of yardage out there for the runners of Kansas State.
Look out. Incomplete. Garrett Oakley, the intended receiver, and a late flag comes down. Obi Izor was over in coverage.
Now, it's clear pass interference. However, that ball lands 3 or 4 yards out of bounds. There's no way it could have ever been caught.
No.
Pass interference, defense, number 4. The penalty will be enforced at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
And Sonny wants an explanation for that very reason.
Yeah.
For that very reason.
It's clear pass interference if this ball is catchable, right? He puts both hands on him, pushes him, but that ball was never going to have a chance of being caught.
Yeah, the throw was well in front of him, way up there. Almost hit the photographers. Misery loves company.
If you're out Obi Izor, though, you have to know you're in position. Don't push him with 2 hands.
Right. The boundary was already your friend.
Yep.
Jackson stopped in his tracks. Oyewale, 97, lost a yard on the play.
Because Kansas State has run the ball so effectively, for TCU, it seems like you got to dedicate more guys to the run, right? You have to be more aggressive to the run, and it's just open up those easy opportunities for Avery Johnson to just dump the ball over the top. He's done it for a touchdown, and he continues to do it throughout these drives.
You notice how Matt Wells and Avery Johnson are using this play clock now? Just slow this baby down.
You got the middle of the field open. You got a tight end right here who can just sneak right through.
Let that clock go tick, tick, tick. Jackson burrows ahead for a couple. Stop him at the 12. Nnamdi Obi-Izor, the linebacker, gain of 2. But they are just nonchalantly taking their time, letting that clock just whittle down with a 2-score lead.
A name we haven't said in a while, number 1 in purple, Jace Brown, a guy who's lined up in the slot right now. He has an opportunity to win with TCU, I would imagine, having guys down in that zero coverage kind of look, playing man-to-man coverage.
K-State looking for a punch-out score right here. Johnson in the corner. It's caught. It's Bradley. It's touchdown.
Great recognition by Avery Johnson. It was zero coverage, and he gets to Bradley in the back of the end zone. A perfectly thrown football by Sunshine. The sun is shining in Manhattan. We talked about Avery Johnson and how he wanted to get back to his old self, use his superpower, and it's his legs that's opened up a ton, and he is playing the best football he's played all season.
His third touchdown pass of the day for Avery. Bradley's second touchdown of the season. And 13 on the year for Sunshine. Yes. I mean, this is just a thing of beauty here.
Yeah, they call that dropping it in the bucket. And he dropped the bomb on them. Baby.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. And time now for our Pacific Life game summary, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. The wheels began to come off, Devin, right after this play.
Yeah, the snowball got to rolling, and you got to give a lot of credit to Joe Klanderman in this Kansas State defense. I mean, they have been incredible all day. And because they've been so incredible, their offense has been able to pick up the ball and start to roll themselves. We talked about the run game being so important to Kansas State, not only in this season, but historically. And they found the run game somehow, some way, and it is paying dividends.
After the game with Colorado, I remember Sonny Dykes saying, you know, we were a little too sloppy tonight. We got to fix that. And that sloppiness, I think, kind of got involved early in this game. And so then you get a little hesitant because you're making a few mistakes. That contributed to K-State's defensive takeover of this game. Hoover, that ball is flailing in the air as pressure got to him from Chidi Obi-Izor. Yes, that is the younger brother of Nnamdi Obi-Izor, the two brothers playing against each other today. And that ball could have been picked out of the air.
And smart by Barnes, the running back number 2, to jump on it just in case they rule it a fumble.
Holding, offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty, first down.
This is a position for Quentin Harris that you do not want to be in. It's the obvious pass situation, right? Now you're forced to move quickly and make plays as a tackle, and the defense knows that you're going to pass the football. No tackle wants to be in those circumstances.
Yeah, Harris in for Hughes. Move to the right side, Taylor Whitfield to the left. McAllister, look out! Eric McAllister, touchdown TCU, 85 yards. If you thought it was over, and obviously some K-State fans did as I look across the way, it's not. 10-plus minutes left. 6th touchdown reception this year for McAllister, who's missed some games recently.
What a response. I mean, he just runs right past him. And a perfect throw by Hoover, and it's all speed for number 1 in white, Eric McAllister.
Well,
I mean, that throw is perfect. There is no other place you could have thrown it.
Coming in, Hoover's 15 passing touchdowns were 4th most in the country, behind only fellow Big 12 quarterbacks Sawyer Robertson, Jalen Daniels, well, and Indiana's Fernando Mendoza, who has 17. He's good, and this game is not, I repeat, not over. So we've reached that point in the game, Devin, when the question becomes for the team with a 2-touchdown lead, how do you handle a full cup of success? You had a 3-touchdown lead. You just got burned, granted on a wonderful pass to the best receiver on the field.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden now, TCU's got to be thinking, yeah, we could get the ball back twice and score.
If you're going to make a comeback, it has to be plays like that. And another thing you have to do defensively, you have to force a turnover. You have to find a way to get the ball out or possibly make Kansas State go 3 and out.
And we're running out of time to get our Aflac trivia question in. So here it is. There are 5 coaches in their second stint at their current school. Which has the most victories? Which has the most wins? I've got a hunch. I've got a hunch. But I'm going to let you think about it too. You remember Coach Snyder had a second stint. Pretty good curtain call here at K-State. We're talking about active coaches. As you see, Johnson burrow ahead. Pickup of 2, so second down and 8.
True freshman, 31, White. Julius Sims, he continues to make plays. We talked about him on the previous drive, and he's here again, finding a way to stop Avery Johnson for a minimal gain.
I'm going to throw out Scott Frost of UCF.
I think that would be my guess.
Maybe Rich Rod at West Virginia. That's a second stint, right? I might change that to Rich Rodriguez. I might go Rich Rod. Jackson. He's going to be 2 yards shy of a first down. Obi Izor with the tackle. After further review, I went Rich Rod at West Virginia. Oh, it's Schiano at Rutgers. Now we forgot about Greg Schiano.
He's done a really nice job.
Boy, has he ever. Had a tough win at Washington.
On that last run, I think the officials missed a block in the back. Both hands on the back of the defender to help that run gain a few more yards.
3rd down and 2. You see the clock ticking. Every first down for K-State really hurts TCU. Jackson stymied at the line of scrimmage. That's Zach Chapman, backup defensive end that met him head on, and they'll have to punt it away.
And this is such a tough job for Zero and White. When you have a quarterback that's so talented, right to the upper right corner of your screen, you have to worry about him. You're responsible for him. Where he plays it perfectly, gets in, and stops Jackson in his tracks.
Devin, think about this. In our game today, first 25 minutes, no total points. None. Last 26 minutes, 56 points. Ed Small takes it at the 33-yard line. We got plenty of time for more scoring in the remainder of television time.
Welcome back to this Big 12 showdown between TCU and K-State. Not often two brothers get to go head-to-head in college. That is the case for Nambi Obi-Izor for TCU and Chidi Obi-Izor for K-State. And that's mother Lori right there in the middle. Came to watch both her sons. I talked to her before the game. She is so proud. Thought about wearing a split jersey with each one of their numbers, but then she figured if I just wear purple, I got them both covered. But she does have 2 signs, one with each one of her sons that she can hold up during the game. The proudest mother in the state of Kansas.
How many times do you think she said, "That's my baby"? Thanks, Josh. Play fake. Hoover to Barnes and Kavorian. Stopped for a minimal gain by Quay Moss. That guy is everywhere. Talk about a valued commodity on this defense. Number 6 in White. You look at McAllister.
Yeah, and McAllister started this game. 1 reception, 7 yards. Well, since 3 reception, 119 and a touchdown. Get him the football.
Hoover, tip ball. It's intercepted by Purnell. Des Purnell, his second of the day.
All right, Tim. Say it with me. Tips and overthrows.
Yep.
Tips and overthrows.
Yep.
And again, a tip ball is intercepted by the Kansas State defense.
Talk about a killer. That is a buzz kill for TCU.
Just trying to get to the check down. The ball comes out funny. Tips and overthrows. Purnell with another interception, and he tries to get to the end zone again. Look at the stiff arm there. A little face mask. They didn't call it. Right, a little stiff arm there. I told you, he played a little running back in his day.
I give Hoover credit for gamely going after the tackle, but he was discarded with a little help of the face mask. 3 turnovers, 14 points off those turnovers. Big difference in this game. Johnson salting this baby away now.
Hey.
That's quite a day.
I think we know who the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week will be.
You think?
That was a really cool play design there by offensive coordinator Matt Wells, optioning off of the 3 technique rather than defensive end, and he has no idea where the ball was.
He has 3 career interceptions, 2 of them today. And Jackson burrows ahead to about the 10. And with that first down, more time will come off that clock, and they'll just let it run for as long as possible.
Yeah, and they're going to be in no hurry here as they create another turnover. And I've said it before, and I have to say it again. Defensive coordinator Joe Klanderman has been outstanding today.
Yeah, we talk often of the role of the coordinator. They had been burned quite a bit. Today, they've looked like the K-State defenses that we've come to know through the years. What a bitter pill, too, this is for TCU. They came in a lot of ways, feeling very good about themselves, and why wouldn't they? They just came back from a 2-touchdown deficit, beat Colorado. They had K-State here, Baylor next week at home. Before going to West Virginia, they were in a great spot to hang tough, be on the doorstep of being a possible Big 12 title game contender. This is really going to hurt. And on the precipice, we both thought they should have been ranked this week.
Yeah.
They were just a few votes shy of making the top 25. Sonny's resilient, though, one of the really good guys in the profession. And that young man is going to be tested big time. Wasn't one of his better performances. Jackson. Boy, he got hit pretty hard and still bolted forward to about the 2. Johnson and Obi Izor collaborated on that tackle, and a timeout taken by the Horned Frogs. Field goal time now. Forces you to have even more scores. That interception, they have put this one to bed. Boy, you talk about games that's outcomes will echo throughout the remainder of the year. We've got one here. We've got other games going on today in other locations that are doing much the same thing, and then again tonight.
Avery Johnson has run the ball well, and number 4 as well. Joe Jackson has really shown that he can be relied on in the run game, but you got to give a lot of love to that offensive line. They have done a tremendous job.
And let's be real, Devin. You know, Dylan Edwards, really quality back. And in this NIL transactional era, that's the guy where the investment was made. Joe Jackson, like so many others on this K-State team, they're battling for Old State U. You know, they're playing hard. And there's Dylan, you see in regular clothing there next to Coach Wells. They get him back. They become a much different offense.
So what you're saying is they could be cooking with hot grease.
Yes, yeah. Kansas State could do in the second half of the season what Kansas did in the second half last year. That ball was tipped by Bates. And if you think about it, Devin, Lance Leipold's team lost a lot of close games to start the year last year, just like K-State has this season.
and
became a spoiler.
Yep.
At the end of the year. Cost Colorado a date in the Big 12 championship game.
Yes, sir.
2nd and 10. Small regathered that. In traffic, he regathered that. Tell you what, he's exciting, isn't he?
I mean, obviously you would love to see him catch it once, but how in the world, with Purnell bearing down, does this true freshman make this play?
Yeah.
And it's not made, obviously. It's bounced off the ground.
Yeah. He stuck with it, though. Purnell tipped it himself.
That should be intercepted again.
Yeah.
And somehow Ed Small stops it from happening.
I want to go back to this. Honestly, I did not see the ball bounce when it was. I thought he had regathered it.
Yeah,
so.
Purnell, again, those tips and those overthrows, he's almost there to get his 3rd interception on the day.
Small's back was to us in real time, but he had to hear the footsteps.
It's a huge 4th down. If you don't pick up this 4th down, this football game is over for TCU.
And it is. Each time Josh has been running with the ball and decided to check down to a receiver, he's overthrown it.
This is the 2nd time where, if you take a look, the ball is coming out really funky.
Yeah.
Right on the interception tip to Purnell, he kind of sails that one on the check down, and then he's trying to get to this check down again, and it comes out super wobbly with the nose of the ball pointing up. You have to wonder, is he not feeling well? Is his arm not, you know what I mean? Because you just don't see Hoover making those types of throws, right? He's usually throwing a tight spiral on target, and he just hasn't been able to do that.
Yeah, just a bad day at the office. 23 of 44, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 7 passes were overthrown for him today. Jackson, stretch play, stopped around the 28.
What are the things you're thinking about if you're Kansas State on offense? Ball security, very important. Protect the ball at all costs, and also you have no reason to run out of bounds. Continue to churn this clock and force TCU to take timeouts. They only have 1 left, and you'll ice this game away with no problem.
Got to tell you, Matt Wells has called a pretty good game today, too, on the offensive side. We've given Clanderman a lot of credit, but, without his top running back, he said we got to find a way to create yards on the ground, and they did that.
They did.
Jackson to the 21. Matt Wells was a hard luck head coach at Texas Tech. There's a nice run. He was fired after a loss to guess who? Kansas State. While at Texas Tech, he was at a record of 3-2. To Texas Tech's defense, they did have a chance to get Joey McGuire, and if they didn't get him, they knew Matt Rule was going to leave, and he did for an NFL job. Texas Tech wanted to get McGuire before Baylor did. Jackson inside the 20 to the 18. Matt's one of the really good guys in the business, and he has done a tremendous job this afternoon with this offense.
Yeah, Tim, and everybody's probably wondering, well, where's this defense been for Kansas State? Why haven't they put, well, they replaced a ton of production in guys in the back end and in that front 7.
Right.
Guys have different responsibilities, and you can see here in their 6th game, it's now like, okay, they're starting to figure out how to play Kansas State football, and I think that's the turn. Clanderman has been patient with his defensive players, and he's found a way to teach them how Kansas State plays defensive football.
Well, I'm going to remember his statement to us the rest of this weekend. We've got to spread the stress by mixing our defensive looks, and this was a TCU team that felt the stress all day long.
Oh yeah,
all day long.
And that's a great way to describe it, spreading the stress. And for the young man on your screen, Josh Hoover, I mean, he hasn't been able to see it down the field, and it's because of what Klanderman's done in the back end, right? Is it man? Is it zone? Are you blitzing? Are you not?
Right.
He's really put him in predicament where he just didn't know what was coming, and the results are what you see in that score box.
Fourth down and 3, and a field goal try coming for Luis Rodriguez, who's been really good. Made 2 last week from 49 and 22. This will be a 36-yarder off the right hash. Right through. Everhart brings it out. But Nebraska now at 5-1. They become a factor now. You got to start thinking about them if they can continue to win. That's a huge road win for Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola.
But how about the man on your screen? The men on your screen. Klanderman, Avery Johnson, K-State when we come back.
41-21 immediately after our game, and we take you into the studio with Sarge and Coach Pete, Bruce Feldman. They'll be getting you ready for Kansas and Texas Tech. Speaking of the Jayhawks against the Red Raiders, and crazy things have been happening. Colorado beat Iowa State today. Texas took down Oklahoma. So Arch Manning finally got the signature win that he needed. John Mateer did play, albeit with a broken hand. Trent Battle gets it ahead for a few yards. But I got to tell you, partner, I cannot wait for our Friday game in Minneapolis, because you know how PJ Fleck is when he's at home and he's got a great young quarterback in Drake Lindsey. That'll be a fun game on Friday night here on Fox. Avery Johnson will close off an unbelievable return to Cinder game.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really impressive to watch. And the conversation with him was amazing because of all he's gone through to this point in the season, adversity, taking a lot of blame that wasn't exactly his. Today with his legs, he rushed for 4 first downs, which is something you know that they had to have in those critical moments, and something that TCU's defense struggled with throughout this season. As you can see, Hoover completing a first down throw to number 81, Chase Curtis. And so Avery has 3 touchdowns in the air, and when we talked to him, he was so transparent, telling us about how he started to hear some of the noise of what he's supposed to be, the type of quarterback he's supposed to be. And this is for young quarterbacks at home. Don't worry about the noise, all right? Ignore the noise. And if you happen to hear it, refocus and be you. Whoever you are, you be you. And that's what Avery Johnson has been able to do today. And it's been so impressive to watch. Being able to coach him at the Elite 11 years ago and to see him continue to grow into the man he's becoming. Outstanding job by the young quarterback.
You know, these guys like Josh Hoover as well, as he goes over the middle for McAllister. He's got it. That'll be a touchdown. Eric McAllister, his second of the day from 37 yards out. And I'm sure he's thinking to himself, gosh, I wanted to make so many more. Wish I could have. Maybe the outcome would have been different. But to your point, quarterbacks spend so much time in the offseason working on their game. This is a heck of a catch. How about that?
Yeah, that's incredible. Very nice catch. And like you said, I'm sure he wishes he would have been able to do that more throughout this game. But like we talked about ad nauseum, TCU just could not get out of their own way today.
Yeah, he talked to us about working with guys like Rich Scangarillo, formerly with the 49ers. He said, you know, I was working on being more of a left foot forward quarterback, guys that to make some changes to become more in touch with how to improve myself. And in so doing, sometimes you get caught up in the quarterback thing as opposed to the winning thing. And for them to win, he's got to run, right?
Of course, I've talked about it all day. That's his superpower. And, you know, a great example is Lamar Jackson, right? And not saying that Avery Johnson is Lamar Jackson. However, everybody who would listen, they told that Lamar Jackson's a running back.
Yeah.
He can't play quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
You can't win this way. Jalen Hurts, you can't win a Super Bowl running the ball. Well, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
I think that has been kind of dismantled. Super Bowl MVP for Jalen Hurts, multiple league MVPs for Lamar Jackson, and Avery Johnson is getting back to the way he plays football, and he continues to develop as a passer from within the pocket, but his legs, those are his superpowers.
College Football Extra, sponsored by Amazon, is coming up. I mentioned Sarge and the ensemble of talent, Coach Pete and Bruce Feldman. They'll be standing by. I think in the end, more than anything else, Devin, we live in a world now where when the game's not being played, a lot of people talk, and too many people listen to those that are talking too much. In the end, it's about winning football games and enjoying being where you are when you're there at the collegiate level, which is where he is right now.
And you've seen him shots of just that big smile, just as happy as can be here in Manhattan. And these fans are excited. And I'm just telling you, the man on your screen, Coach Kleiman, their head coach, he's elated the way his team responded today.
And as difficult a pill as this is to swallow for Sonny and Kendall Browse and company, you got to believe TCU, because the league is the way it is. There'll be some bounce back in them too. But the moment belongs to Coach Kleiman and Kansas State. They are a team that is more comfortable being at the top, not in the middle or second tier. And today they were on top. A big, big thank you to Devin Gardner and Josh Sims, Scott Alexander, Brent Bender, Chad Tuttle, Michael Barship. We'll see you on Friday night for Nebraska and Minnesota.